Well, hi there, everybody. I am Elizabeth Din with Queen 6 News, and as you can see, I have my guest here, who is Twee Pham, also known as Mama Doot. Hey, Twee.
Hey Liz, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to be here with you.
I know, and you and I go back a couple of years.
Yes, we do.
So I don't know how many years. I don't know if it's like pandemic or a little bit before. No, it has to be after pandemic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was the pandemic, and I think
Yeah.
just because of our generation and our background, I just immediately connected with you.
Yeah. Yeah, and so for our viewers who are meeting us for the first time or meeting you for the first time, so Twee is from here, Portland, grew up in Cali, but kind of have lived here since what, high school, if I'm correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And longtime Portlander, and a lot of people know you as Mama Doot, and we go back to that 2020 story. So I reached out to interview you because I think you had your restaurant, but then Netflix approached you about documenting you and some other people. So it was kind of like a lot was going on at that time. And I was so honored because you were like, yes. And we both could relate because we're both Vietnamese American women, and we've been friends as well, in addition to,
Yes.
you know, just knowing each other through each other's work.
Yes, yeah, and it was honestly at the time so meaningful to be able to have that conversation with you specifically because, you know, as another Vietnamese woman who is also like, you know, a child of refugees and immigrants, you understand so
Yeah.
much without me having to say things.
I
So
appreciate
it was really
that.
nice.
Yeah. We always have clicked on so many things because it's one of those things. We get it, you know, like balancing two cultures and like growing up with parents who want us to know our Vietnamese culture, but also trying to
Yeah.
adapt to American culture. And then now as women navigating this world, it's like balancing all of that, but also learning to be proud of those
Yeah,
roots.
I think, you know, we're sisters in that identity, and so it was really nice to be able to like connect with someone who just understood me so well, especially during such a tumultuous time.
It was. Keep going, because I'm going to talk about that. I think it's great that you're able to talk about that because as we show this, and so this is back when I did that story with you, right? And so
Oh.
this was the Netflix event.
Yeah. This was the screening, one of the screenings. We did multiple ones of the Netflix event, and you know, they don't really tell you like the impact that it may have on your life, and so I really wasn't prepared for all the attention, and I felt a bit thrusted into the public eye at a time where I was still healing from a lot of things.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It was a lot because you were telling me like all these people are reaching out, and you are a vulnerable person. You've always been open about your emotions. And in this Netflix thing, you also were. I mean, and you've never been shy about crying. And, you know, if you're very emotional about something, you're not going to hide that. If you're ecstatic about something, if you're frustrated about something, I know that about you. And going back to this, if we take it a step further, which people, if they watch the Netflix thing, they'll learn this as well. So prior to this, you were a hairdresser, hence the
Yeah.
cool hair that you always have. And then pandemic happened, and you've been vegan since, do you remember the year that you
Since
started?
2019.
Okay.
So I actually hadn't been vegan for very long before kind of just got thrusted into the vegan chef world.
And then it just happened, and people
Yeah.
loved it.
Yeah.
You had the restaurant, and that stemmed from your daughters. I think you were doing like, was it a live?
Yeah, an Instagram live.
Yeah.
Which was her idea, just something to, you know, have fun with during a time when we were all locked inside.
And then you did the video, and then she was just like, Mom, you should like do this video. And then people were looking at this during pandemic. We're all locked down.
Yeah.
And people were like, I want to buy that. And if I'm correct, you made this vegan pork belly.
Yes, I made a vegan pork belly because I just, you know, becoming vegan really helped me embrace and learn more about my Vietnamese culinary roots. And, you know, all this time on my hands, that was what I was doing with my daughter in the kitchen. And she wanted to do a live, and it just really took off. People DM'd and asked how they could buy it, and it just kind of sparked an idea in my head. Well, maybe this is something that can supplement my income. I had zero expectations that it would become anything like that it is or that it did. So.
Which, that is pretty wild.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we get, I know for you it's hard to put into words, but because I've witnessed it with you, is that you went from a hairdresser, a single mom, raising a tween at that point, if I'm correct. So Kinsley is going through all the stuff that kids her age are. We're also navigating the pandemic and everything that comes with that time at 2020. So much was going on in the country, in the world. And here you are suddenly, you can't do hair for people, right? So you were like making food. And I think that's what's pretty incredible. I know Netflix did a great job, and so many people you've let us interview, you have captured that. You really have shown like, hey, you know, I'm just going to go with this. And I know that's been a challenge, but you've done it. You had a restaurant and you opened that, which is what we're seeing right here off of Morrison, I think, on the east side.
Yep, off of Morrison.
And was it last year or the year before, then you made that tough decision to then close it, though? Because it always goes back to this. You and I had this chat. We're like, I remember it's like, you didn't sign up for this. You didn't ask for it. And you feel blessed, but you're just like, you also like didn't go to school for this. It just was like, here you go.
Yeah, I didn't know, you know, like you said, exactly what you said. You know, I was a hairstylist. I had no culinary background. I just cooked at home and enjoy cooking at home. I didn't have any idea or any real goals. I just said yes to things, opportunities that like came before me, and I just wanted to feed people. And so, yeah, I tried the restaurant. And it was hard, and I have so much respect for folks working in the restaurant industry, and I have so much respect and admiration for their passion.
Yeah.
Because, like, people who work in the restaurant industry, food and beverage, like, please remember they are doing it out of love and the drive to want to nourish people, because it's hard work and there's much easier ways to make money. Yeah. And I'm really glad I went through that journey. Yeah. Because it's taught me a lot, and it's taught me how to have gratitude for my privileges also. So yeah, although the restaurant is not around, I'm still really grateful for having that journey.
Yeah, I mean, you helped to solidify a reputation for yourself for being a person who makes vegan Vietnamese food. Also, you have represented Portland in a whole new way too. Like, and I know again, it's all like this unexpectedly. And then you were James Beard nominated, which again, it's like you didn't go to culinary school, so I'm sure you were like a year prior, you're like, how could this have even happened? So it was a whirlwind first few years for you.
Yeah, I kind of forget that sometimes that like I was a semifinalist for James Beard. It's
which is like the Oscars of the culinary world. And I know sometimes you must be like, who am I? But your authenticity, honestly, is what makes people feel like.
You know what, to be honest with you, I didn't even know what the James Beard Awards were when it happened. And it was actually, I got a message from Jasper, the owner of former XLB, congratulating me. And I was like, what are you talking about? What is this? And he actually had to explain to me. So I was like, oh, how did they know me?
So someone must have nominated you, and then just like that.
Yeah, I guess so. To be quite honest with you, I'm not really sure what the nomination process is.
I think that's what it is. I think it's like they take open nominations.
But I'm so grateful for the recognition. And I also want to remind people that there are still so many talented folks out there that I so admire, who I actually think are way more talented than I am, who like have not been a semifinalist or not been nominated for things like this. And although I'm very appreciative, I also take these things with a grain of salt. Yeah. And am humbled for the recognition.
Well, I want to talk about something else in your life, which is your current job.
Yes.
And so you stepped away, you closed the restaurant, but you are doing something that is really in line with you, which is the Growing Gardens.
Yes. You know,
Tell us about Growing Gardens for people who are like, what is it?
Growing Gardens is a local nonprofit. We actually, next year will be our 30th anniversary.
Congrats.
And our goal is to help reduce food insecurities in marginalized communities. And we do that through garden education and garden support. So we build gardens for low-income families, Title I schools, and correctional facilities. Our Let Us Grow program within the correctional facilities grow on average about 300,000 pounds of food that gets put back into the facilities for inmates who are living in there. Our program, Home Gardens, services low-income families for 3 years. And we are there season over season to help them grow and integrate indigenous and cultural foods into their diet as well. And then we have our Youth Grow program. I love looking at these photos. Our Youth Grow program, which puts garden and garden education into Title I schools. And so we create take-home kits where families can make recipes at home together, and we do little cooking classes for the kids. It feels so much more meaningful, and I truly feel so lucky and blessed that I have the opportunity to do work that aligns with my values. It's just such a privilege.
Yeah, it's so you. And I remember when you told me
you.
about this too, that it really felt like it came out of nowhere. But once again, you're like, maybe this is the right thing to do. And I know you definitely feel that way now. And it is so you to help out your local community and to help people get a leg up with this organization. And it's all about food and eating well.
Yeah, and I think this is a reminder for people, like, oftentimes you have to close doors in order for new ones to open. And I think, like, my transition from the restaurant to this work now is such a great example of that. I, was about 80% done with a second restaurant on
That's
Alberta.
right.
Before I made the decision. But, like, after a lot of self-reflecting, I, made the decision to close it because it didn't resonate with my values anymore. And I closed that door, and this other opportunity with Growing Gardens that just feels just so much more meaningful for me. And looking back now, I'm so grateful that I did take that risk and close both of the restaurants. Otherwise, I wouldn't be in this position now.
Yeah, you've really leaned in, which is great advice for others. Like, think about it, and a lot of times taking that chance is a good thing. There's a reason like it's happening in your life.
Yeah.
So with that, you've taken another risk, which is you're working on a cookbook, and I feel like it was a year or two ago that I'd heard that you were doing that. So we'll start with some photos that I know you had been sharing on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
And so you took lots of photos, like behind the scenes stuff in LA.
Yeah. So this is my team in LA. And it was really meaningful for us to shoot in LA. We shot in Boyle Heights in a studio there. And, Boyle Heights, if anybody doesn't know, is a predominantly Mexican-American immigrant neighborhood. And so writing a cookbook based on immigrant and refugee identity, and then shooting it in a neighborhood that represents, just the incredible immigrant power.
It meant a lot to you.
It really meant a lot to me.
Look at you. Are you on a skateboard?
Yeah. We actually, my friend, so our DP, he's Chinese American, and also it just meant so much to me to have a team of immigrant kids and Asian Americans to work on this book together. It was really important for me to have a team who represented the stories and the identities and the intersectionalities of my book also. and I feel really blessed too.
They're supporting
I'm getting
you.
so emotional.
Oh,
looking
it's okay. But that's why it's like, I think, again, it goes back to that for people who don't know you or like watched you do these interviews. It's that authenticity about you. You really are a feeler. And this means something to you, you know, like all the ups and downs in life are very much reflected in what you do. And that's why
Yeah.
you were telling me that putting this cookbook together has been one of the hardest things for you.
Yes, yeah. It's been difficult financially, emotionally, mentally. A lot of the stories that I share and the recipes that I share in the book trigger, you know, memories that I haven't visited in a long time. Many stories I haven't ever even put words to.
Yeah.
And so it was cathartic, it was therapeutic. I wrote the book with a recipe editor who is a queer first-gen Vietnamese woman. And her name is Tien Nguyen. And to be honest with you, it took us quite a long time to find her and go through the process, but I'm so grateful to have been able to write the book with her because, you know, it allowed me to just be more raw and open with the stories and my experiences. And we were able to take so much care in a lot of the cultural translations.
Good. Nice.
And so I'm so proud. I'm so proud. You know, none of the kids in my family, you know, graduated college
Yeah.
or anything like that. My mother never had that like proud Asian mom moment, and so I'm really looking forward to like giving this book to her as a way to cement her legacy for like her sacrifices.
I get that, yeah, because many of us who have parents who immigrated, not just Vietnamese, but many immigrants in general, but I know a lot of Vietnamese people, our parents just don't say I love you the way we've seen in American movies and TV shows. And sure, they love us, but for them, a lot of them, it's like not saying it isn't something that's very common, right? Or to say like, I'm proud of you, you kind of have to drag it out of them. So I see what you mean. Like, I know how like it's going to be meaningful for you, but also because it's like a tribute to your mom in so many ways, because she taught you how to cook so much of what you know and those flavors that you repeat, but vegan style.
Yeah, you know, growing up, I would see like friends in school have like baby pictures and old family photos, and my family never had that because all our old photos and ancestral photos were thrown overboard when we escaped. We lost all of that. So my mom really came to America with nothing. So it was really important for me to be able to like give her something tangible to help hold space for like the photos and the ancestral memories that she lost.
It's going to be an incredible book. I can already tell. So it's like, so people know like these tears and this emotion is because, again, you just are putting so much passion and love into this book. I know we have some videos that you showed us behind the scene as well.
Yeah.
And this is pretty cool, the videos of, tell me about if you, let me see.
Oh yeah,
This
this
is
is me getting my makeup done.
Which is always nice. One less thing to think about.
Yes.
You got somebody doing it for you.
And Jay, he was an amazing artist. I feel so lucky to also have had him do my makeup. He's actually does like Harper's Bazaar covers.
Oh, nice.
I know. I just feel so blessed, and also like, you know, Mexican American queer man. Like, I just feel so lucky to have had the team that I've had. I admire everyone who's worked on this book so much. I couldn't have done it without them, really, truly.
You look fabulous. I mean,
Thank you.
dang.
Thank you.
Your tattoos also, I know you've talked about this before, but it's also so iconic you. And having been out and about with you before, which is like, people will approach you, and I've seen it. It's like, I'm such a fan, and that too is something that you've had to grapple with because you're like, oh, you know, you did it again. It's like you didn't sign up for it, so how do you navigate that as being someone who's so authentic, you know? But I've always seen you be very grateful for that. But it's new to you even now.
It is new. It is new to me, and I'm so grateful for people's like love and care.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful that what I do resonates with people. And so I never want to be disrespectful of people's interactions and experiences with me.
Yeah, you ooze
And I still
gratitude.
so I hope each and every time I'm showing up with gratitude.
I've seen
And
it, so I know you do. What can you believe it? We've been talking for 20 minutes.
Oh my
which,
God,
again,
yeah.
see, it always just
It
flies
just
by.
flies by.
What do you want people to know? Is there a timeline on when this might be out? But I know it's been so hard for you, so understandable. Or
Yeah, it's so funny. I actually had downloaded with my agents about this because I knew this question was coming. It is currently slated for 2027 release.
yay!
You know, so much goes now into the design work and layout of the book. I am not quite sure when in 2027. We're currently aiming for spring, but moving target depending on, you know, all the moving parts.
But you're coming along, so the photos are there, the stories are there.
Yeah.
So you're moving forward.
I'm
and
moving forward.
That's
and
awesome.
Yeah, and I think the hardest part of the book, you know, is over, and I hope that I can enjoy, you know, the rest of the journey a little bit more.
Is it the stories that you felt that's the hardest part?
The
is opening? Yeah.
stories, and you know, I think also thinking about my mom and my family's reaction to some of the stories around how we came to America, and writing it in a way that is respectful of their sacrifices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Balancing your truth with some of them are
Yes.
tough stories to tell.
Yes.
Again, like you said, you want to be respectful to them, but you also don't want to diminish some of the could be horrors. It could be deep, deep things.
Yeah, and honestly,
yeah.
we spend so much time in translations. We also like, you know, things you don't realize. Like I weigh everything when I cook, but a lot of Americans measure in volume. So we went through and weighed, and then redid everything in volume as well. And then also like translating like Asian ingredients in the market. It's, you know, this book is written for, you know, the Vietnamese, Asian American diaspora, for folks who ever felt like they never belonged. And so I really wanted to make it a book that like folks can take with them and actually learn from it. And so we cover a lot of like ingredient staples and how to shop, and and I hope, you know, those who aren't with their parents or their ancestors anymore can use this book as an ancestral guide and know that like the ancestors are with them when they're cooking in the kitchen.
That is deep, Twee. That is deep. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you for being so raw and open. As we round out the last few minutes here, for those who don't know, the reason Mama Doot is your name is because of your beautiful daughter, Kinsley.
Yes, yeah. That's Kinsley used to, because Doot means feed,
Yeah.
to feed in Vietnamese, and she used to say Mama Doot, anytime she wanted me to feed her. Or I would say, oh, Kinsley, come here, Mama Doot.
Yeah.
So, you know, as a playful way to honor her and, you know, my identity as a mother and what motherhood has taught me, I named my project, you know, Mama Doot.
And it does unite because it's like your mom to you,
Yeah.
to Kinsley, and I'm
Yeah.
sure she'll pass it on as well. And I think we all feel that. And you guys are trying on ao dai, which is the
Yes.
Vietnamese cultural dress, and it's often worn with pants.
Yes.
There's different versions, but this is a modern take on the traditional dress. You've got the different sleeves and very colorful, which is so you
Yeah,
and
it's
Kinsley.
tradition to get a new aoyai every New Year's to bring in the new year. So it's a fun way for me to connect with, my Vietnamese roots and also like with Kinsley as well.
Don't you use a seamstress here in Portland too?
I do.
See, it's
I
like it's all just
do.
so your love for Portland is so
I
big.
do. Everything comes from her. If there's any styles I like, I just text her and ask her to, find it for me. And
How many aoyais do you think you have?
Oh, I have a huge collection.
Like, are we talking 150 or?
Close? It's probably close to 100
Woo!
now.
I thought I had
when
a
I
lot.
was, we resonate with this. When I
Yeah.
was in my younger years,
Yeah.
I modeled. I was an aoyai model.
Yeah, and I did pageants.
Yeah, and you did
when I was
pageants.
younger, so I probably have 50 or 60. I
Yeah,
haven't
yeah.
counted,
So
but-
I've, gotten quite an accumulation over the years.
But that's what's fun is I think our generation is embracing what our
Yeah.
parents taught us and embracing being an American as well. And then being in Portland, I mean, it's just being who you are and being authentic is so welcome. So I
Yeah.
personally think that's a big part of why you've been able to navigate so many things, having known you all these years, is that you just said it in this interview, is that you've always had this chance to do something, and it was definitely uncomfortable, definitely out of nowhere, but you were, I'm sure, scared, but you just took that chance. And so this cookbook
Yeah.
is definitely the next thing, and I can see and feel how heavy it is for you, but I'm excited for you too, because every time this happened, you did it, you ran with it, and you came out on top.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Liz. I think I have learned that trauma and obstacles is an opportunity to build resilience, and I'm really fortunate for having those opportunities, and that resilience has served me well so far.
I am excited. Okay, we have 1 quick minute where I got to fit this in.
Okay.
Real quickly, though, I forgot to mention you are excited that you did a photo shoot at Home Fat, which is a local Asian supermarket owned by a
Yes.
Vietnamese family for decades now. If you can fit that in before we head out.
Yes, so the owner of Hong Fat Ju Hong, he is actually a college friend of my uncle. They went, very close. They were roommates, and just I really admire him and his family and how they really have brought the Vietnamese community together with, a Vietnamese supermarket, and they've served us for generations, and it just felt so appropriate to shoot my first cookbook inside Home Fat, and he opened up the doors for me after hours, and it was so fun to be able to just highlight how beautiful, Asian markets are.
And the photos are going to be great. Already seeing the LA preview, and we'll share the picture from Home Fat. So it's going to
Thank
be a great
you.
representation of Vietnamese culture in Portland and you. I'm excited for you, my friend, and congratulations.
Thank
And
you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
talking
so
with
much,
me. We'll have to
Liz.
follow up, of course, as it gets closer to release date. for
Yes,
sure.
you will have to come to our book party
Absolutely.
when it comes out. So.
Absolutely. I'm so honored that I get to interview you, and thank you for representing Portland and the Vietnamese community.
Thank
All
you
right,
so
everybody,
much,
thanks for
Liz.
tuning into this KOIN Conversation, and thank you, my guest, Twee.
Thank you.